Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. Game over, series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again. And so are these fans. It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Boston organization has been well run for a long time now. From the top on down, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Red Sox have won the World Championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 World Championships. Can you believe it?
Welcome to another episode 27 of the Pesky Podcast. I am the Ritt, and with me, as always, is my main man, DC. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Can't complain. Nice little weekend off from work. Dreading going back tomorrow.
Nice little weekend off of work, and you know I got to put you on blast. Birthday weekend, DC. I had to push it all out of social media, you know.
Yeah.
How was your birthday? Do you remember it all? I know once you become a dad, things change.
Yeah, I mean, it was very uneventful, you know, not really what I'm used to, but now that I'm a dad and married, you know, I got to reel it in a little bit. Honestly, just sat at home, hung out with the fam, watched some movies with my wife, but it's all I can ask for, man.
Hey, as you get married, kids get a little bit older, those are the times that you want to sit there and have and remember. So
yeah, my hangovers are like 3 days long now, so I can't really be going nuts like I used to.
What a way to go right into our next thing. Speaking of hangovers, how the heck are the Boston Red Sox going from winning 6 straight to splitting with the Twins to losing 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox?
Yeah, just some inconsistencies, man. The offense wants to show up one game, not there the next. You know, when our starters put a decent outing out, our bullpen kind of implodes, you know, and vice versa. It's kind of tough to watch. I was pretty excited for the Twins and the White Sox series. I thought it was a point in the season where we could really, you know, gain some ground, especially in the wild card. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, it's almost like someone in the clubhouse looked over at the standings, was like, "Oh crap, we're over 500. Let's bring this back down."
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's a long season, though. I'm trying to stay positive. You know, I've tried to push down the negative thoughts all season, but it's getting tough. You know, we're getting to that point in the season where we either gotta, you know, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, but on paper, early in the season, we sit there and I looked at this stretch as we played Twins, we played the White Sox, and then we play the Marlins. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice little, you know, we can win 3 series in a row. But that's not the case with these Marlins. And we have somebody that's been on the podcast before who did a fantasy draft with us. And we're going to bring him on now, and we're going to talk the upcoming series. You know, he is from Diamond Media. Let's bring on Nick.
How you doing, guys?
What's
Glad
up,
to
man?
be here.
Hey, what's going on? So, man, the Marlins are doing really well. They're one of the surprise teams this year. You know, tell us a little bit about the story so far.
Well, I think everyone knows the main story, which is Luis Arraez still batting. I think he's at 399 after today, so still hovering around 400. Has been all season. But, I mean, Yuri Perez is starting to break through into that. He's the best rookie in the National League, not named Corbin Carroll, and you can make an argument he's better than Corbin Carroll. Pitched today, he's at 21 straight scoreless innings. I know the Red Sox are going to miss him, so he's only 20 years old, so it would be cool to watch him pitch. But I think for the Red Sox, they're glad they did miss him. I think the biggest surprise is how bad Sandy's been. He's got an ERA at 5.08, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's been something like I was at the game against the A's a few weeks ago. He went 2 perfect innings on like 18 pitches, gave up 5 runs in the third, and didn't give up a base runner through the rest of the game. He went 7 innings, 5 runs, only gave up 5 hits all in 1 inning. It was crazy. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if it's the shift, it's the pitch clock, but he's kind of on like that Manoah thing. He's just been so bad all year. But a couple other guys, if you want to look forward for, Brian De La Cruz is very underrated, I think. He reminds me a lot of like Austin Hayes from the Orioles. About a 750, 800 OPS guy. Will bat about 275 to 300. He might finish around 15 to 20 bombs. I think he's just a solid everyday player. And I think the Marlins always had great pitching, like great young pitching. It's just this year they're finding players that were black holes last year that are putting at least like a 700 or 650 OPS where they were putting up 450, 500 last year. So they added a rise. Yuri basically replaced Sandy, and they're just getting a little bit of better hitting from the bottom of the order, which has made them 11 games over 500.
Yeah. That's something the Red Sox can't say.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very disappointing. So let's dive into this. Tuesday's game 1 starter. You know, you mentioned a little bit of we go up against Sandy Alcantara. We're throwing out Garrett Whitlock. So DC, you want to talk Garrett Whitlock first?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a little, iffy just coming back from the IL. I think he had a couple starts where he allowed 4 earned runs. I think the other 2 he had like 1 or 2. His strikeouts are there. I think as the season progresses, I think he'll kind of come back into his own. But tough matchup. They're playing very well. Obviously, like you just said, the surprise team. And honestly, I didn't realize that they were that far over 500. I've been kind of paying attention, but not too much. But as far as Whitlock, he's got to keep that command. Have that good fastball slider, sinker too. Main thing is just commanding his pitches and not being afraid to throw strikes.
Yeah, and what about Sandy on your side there?
I mean, it's like I said, it's really been one bad inning every start. I think against the Pirates, he gave up 5 in 1 inning. Against the A's, he gave up 5 in 1 inning. But he looks good. It's not like his stuff's not there. I don't know if it's the shift. I don't know if it's the pitch clock. He just isn't the same as he was last year, and it's kind of unfortunate. It'd be fun to watch him.
Yeah, man, if you would sit there and on paper and not know what Sandy's doing this year, this here would be the game. You're like, well, that's a lock,
Yeah.
Because it's Alcantara. Like he's the beast. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun to see what inning he implodes in, and because sometimes the Red Sox have trouble even scoring 1 run, let alone he gave up 5.
Mm-hmm.
So game 2, you guys are pitching the lefty Garrett. We don't really have anybody to be determined right now. It could be Walter, could be, God forbid, please hope not Corey Kluber. We got Pavetta.
I was thinking probably Pavetta or one of the rookie lefties or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So tell us a
better
little
not
bit
be
about.
Kluber.
Oh, anybody but him.
Yeah, anybody but Kluber.
That'd be rough, man.
But tell everybody about yeah.
Yeah. So Braxton Garrett is tall, lefty, nasty curveball. Yeah, he's coming off the best start of his career, in my opinion. He went 7 innings, 13 Ks. I mean, it was against the Pirates, who were playing awful at the time, but he was nasty. I think he's a good matchup against the Red Sox because they have so many good lefties. I think him and Jesus, who's pitching the 3rd game, are good looks against the Red Sox lineup. He was a 2016 first-round pick, so he's not like a fluke. He's not just the guy that came out of nowhere. Took him a little bit longer to develop, but he looks like he's finally there. So I guess the Marlins are happy about that. He's like a 4 or 5 guy. He's nice to have on a good team, 4 or 5 pitcher.
Yeah, I'm actually, happy to see some left-handed pitchers because we got Rob Rebsnyder, and he does damage on left-handed pitchers. He loves them. What are your thoughts of having 2 lefties and knowing that, of course, one man can't beat a team, but he can do damage in key situations.
Well, if Duvall was hot right now, yeah, I feel like that's the guy you need if you're going to beat lefties. I know, is Verdugo still on the bereavement list this series?
Verdugo is still on the bereavement list.
Like
I don't
Tuesday,
know if
I think.
Yeah, he should be back by Tuesday. So, but it might take Verdugo a game or 2 to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, if the lefties or the righties against the lefties, Russ Snyder's nasty against lefties always. Duvall's been kind of bad since he came back, but Wong's the everyday catcher now, especially with McGuire hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's another righty.
Turner's been,
and Turner's been hot. Yeah, Turner's been hot. Besides that, I would say their better hitters are lefties, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it looks like possibly we could do a bullpen game. Depends on how deep Whitlock goes into the game 1 for us. It worked out pretty well the last 2 times. Brian Walter didn't sit there and give up too many. I was even surprised Ort gave up the first 2 runs when he opened for us. Like, I seen that as an opener. I was like, okay, we lost this one. But then Murphy came in, and he's just been, lights out for us, surprisingly. DC, any thoughts on a possible, bullpen matchup or bullpen game we could be throwing against them?
I'm with him. If I had to choose, I'd probably go Pivetta, or you can kind of do like a hybrid with Pivetta, since he's probably not as stretched out as he would be, since he's not in the rotation anymore. But maybe go with him 3-4 innings. Get Murphy to do a couple innings. I know Winkowski kind of had a rough outing last time out with 3 home runs given up, but you have him in there at the end of the game. But I prefer to kind of go Pivetta with the longer route. But obviously it all depends on what happens with Whitlock's start on Tuesday.
Yeah. Game 3, you guys are throwing Luzardo, and we got our new ace, Ryan Bayo, going. So, tell us a little bit about Luzardo.
I actually grew up playing against Luzardo, so I know a lot about him.
That's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah, Luzardo. He's like about a 3/4 arm slot, maybe a little lower, lefty. Sits around 95, 96, fastball. And he's mostly a fastball changeup guy. He's got a slider a little bit too. I'm trying to think who I would compare him to. He's like what Whitlock is, but a lefty, I would say. Maybe a little bit better velocity. Great changeup, just from the left side, kind of like Whitlock has. And he throws a slider, a little like sparingly slider.
Okay.
Good command. He does every once in a while have a blow up start. We'll give it like 6-7 runs, but lately he's been going on runs where like 5-6, great starts, and then he'll give up like a 5-6 spot. So he's due for a clunker every once in a while.
Yeah, his ERA is a 3.77, so it's not like he gives them up on the regular.
Yeah, he's like I think he's a big strikeout guy, I would say too. Tough on lefties, righties hit him pretty decent, at least last year. I don't know the exact batting average against and stuff like that this year, but last year he was way better against lefties than righties for sure.
Yeah. DC, you want to talk about our new pride, our new ace, Brian Bayo?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most consistent things we've had the last month or two. Really think he's coming into his own. Fastball, changeup just looks incredible. His strikeouts are there. Not to sound like a broken record, like I said with Whitlock, but his command's there too, which is kind of opening up a lot of the the plate for him to throw at. Just super stoked to have a consistent anchor at this point. Obviously, the bad news with Chris Sale losing the guy that I thought was going to be our ace this season. Sale was everything we needed right now.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, let's go to to the lineup and compare and contrast a little bit, because this is a different lineup. We're used to the Red Sox. Got a lot of young faces being called up. David Hamilton. He's just been greased lightning. Like I sit there in DC and I seen him live down in AAA, and I thought he was fast, but I don't know if the camera does some sort of magic where he's like goes from first to third, second to home. Like you blink and he's there.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know, we brought up Caleb Hamilton as a backup catcher now. You know, it's a completely different look. Dahlbeck's making his name and presence felt back up on the main roster. So, but let's talk about the Marlins a little bit here. One thing I've noticed about the Marlins roster is you guys don't shy away from second baseman. Like
yeah,
you guys
have 6 of them.
You guys have 6 second basemen, but they play multiple other positions. So talk about the Marlins lineup and the Marlins offense a little bit.
So while they've been in their hot stretch recently in the last like 20 games, Arise has been leading off. Skip Schumacher played around with Jazz leading off early in the year, and Arise Platt second or third, but I don't think he's moving Arise out of leadoff spot for the rest of the season. So Arise plays second. He's the actual second baseman. And then depending on starting pitcher, usually Soler will bat second, play DH. I think he's at 21 bombs. He top 5 in the league in bombs right now, batting around 250. He's having a good year. Third, when he's healthy, is usually Jazz. There's a chance Jazz makes a comeback for this series, but I don't think he will. I think it'll be the next series. Still hurt. Had played like 3 games in AAA before this, but I don't think he'll be back for this season, or this series at least. Fourth is third right now is usually De La Cruz, who's been playing left field, but usually with Jazz he'd play bat fourth. Jesus Sanchez, who's coming along greatly. He was awful the last 2 years. He sucked. He had like a 500 OPS, struck out like 30% of his at-bats. Now he's a serviceable player. He's playing usually right field or DH, depends. If Soler's playing, depends on like a tough righty. Where it gets really bad is now that Gene Segura has been awful this year. They signed him in the offseason. They signed him to play third base. It was pretty good the last few years in the Phillies, not special, but, you know, batting 6th or 7th in the lineup, you would love him to just get on base. He was awful. So now it's John Birdie, who is good defense, fast. He actually led the league in stolen bases last year. I don't know.
He went off last year in stolen bases.
Yeah, not many people noticed that, but he had, I think, 40-something last year, and he was most in the league. And Joey Wendell, if you remember him, plays shortstop mostly. It used to be a Birdie and Wendell platoon. But
didn't Birdie start getting like playing time late, or not late, but like a month or 2 into the season?
Yeah, he didn't really play because Jazz was playing center, Wendell was playing shortstop, and Segura was playing third. And then Rise obviously is not coming out. And then first base, they have like a platoon between Garrett Cooper and Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah,
which is like average, whatever. Gurriel was awful last year. He's batting like 265. So he's getting on base. He's doing his thing. It's honestly, Rise gets on base. Jorge Soler hits a home run. Brian De La Cruz is an above-average baseball player. And then once Jazz is back, they hope to take off and just hope the pitching can carry them like it has been.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Marlins. The Marlins is kind of like the Florida Marlins and the Rays. Both are able to sit there and lose pitching, but still have amazing pitching. Like when you guys traded, was it Lopez?
Yeah, Pablo Lopez. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's one of your key pieces. You guys are building with down there, and you guys are like, yep, we got next man up. Was it nice to have? Yeah, but we have plenty of others. We're going to show you more.
And they have more. Sixto Sanchez pitched in the 2020 playoffs. Who knows where he is? people don't even think he's real. Like he is so far
Yeah.
in like rookie ball right now, like trying to get things back, and no one knows if he's ever going to play again. But they're saying hopefully he can be up by like August, but I doubt it. Trevor Rogers had a really good rookie year. He's still up there. And then Max Meyer is a top 50 prospect who just had Tommy John. So they have the arms to deal if they want to go get the offense, which is what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I think finally they're set up in a spot at the deadline that they could add. So we'll see what happens.
So DC, you want to go over some of the new look Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton excites me, as we just said. His speed's unreal. Just as long as he get on base. Obviously, he showed a little power the game that we got to see in Scranton Wilkes-Barre when he hit those 2 home runs. It's cool to see Dalbec back up. You know, obviously a little salty with Bobby D, but we'll leave that for another time. But I don't know how many more opportunities he's going to get. So I feel like he really needs to put something together these next few weeks if he wants to stay up here. I don't know too much about Hamilton, the catcher. I haven't really been able to watch too many of the games this past weekend with the birthday and all that stuff and kid stuff going on. But you tell me anything about him, Josh?
Caleb, I think he's really I enjoy him a lot. He's pretty decent defensively behind the plate. He can sit there and he can call a decent game. He's a little bit above average. You're not going to get a lot of power, but he's going to be consistent with contact.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm also pretty excited about Devers. He seems like he's coming alive a little bit. He was kind of scuffling there. Obviously, his RBI numbers and home runs are there, but knocking in a couple multi-hit performances the last few games. I think he had 2 out of 4. He had at least 2 hits in. And Justin Turner's been consistent. Probably one of our most consistent bats besides Verdugo. But yeah, I mean, other than Hamilton and Caleb, it's all kind of the same thing other than Duvall. I'd like to see him kind of pick it back up to, where he left off when he got hurt. But obviously a wrist injury in batting isn't going to just happen right away. You get that timing down and all that.
Me personally, I'd love to see more of 10 minutes before the game starts. And, hey, Christian, you're starting. Because when 5 for 5? It was ridiculous. So let's go bullpen, because bullpen's something that I really don't know much about with the Marlins. So Nick, can you sit there and intrigue us with the Marlins bullpen?
AJ Puck is the closer. I know he's never been really that good with the A's, but somehow he's having a great season, and the Marlins have never had. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Leo Nunez.
No.
He was one of those guys that changed his name. I totally forget what he didn't change his name. He came, I think he's Cuban, came from Cuba, had a different name, and then found out they had to change his name. But his original name was Leo Nunez, and everyone was saying that this AJ Puck has been the best Marlins closer since Leo Nunez. He hasn't been there since 2009. So that's kind of cool. It's their first good closer in a while. Other names to look out for: Tanner Scott. It's been really good. He actually blew a save last night, though, but he's been really good. He's probably been their second best reliever so far. Brazoban, another guy, throws hard, has been scuffling lately, but has been one of their most reliable guys also. Matt Barnes is on the IL at the moment, so you won't see him. I know the Marlins won't see Blyer either, so that trade was basically a wash both ways. So, O'Kurt, pretty good. Stephen O'Kurt, a lot of ground ball guy, gets a lot of outs that way, effective. Besides that, I mean, AJ Puck, Skip Schumacher lets him go 6 outs if he needs to, so you might see that. I doubt it, but it's something that might happen. He's done it a couple times this season.
Yeah, our bullpen's been hit or miss overall. Like, sometimes they can sit there and come in and we can just mow through the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Other times, we just implode like, Wink did a couple nights ago. So, DC, you want to go over our bullpen for us?
Yeah, so closer is obviously Jansen. He gave up a run his last appearance, but other than that, he's been pretty spotless over the last couple of weeks. One of my favorite signings of the offseason, Chris Martin, our setup guy. He's been lights out. I think he's got like a 1.50 ERA. He'll get your strikeouts in big moments. Winkowski, he's been pretty consistent the whole season, other than the last couple of appearances. I think like 3 out of 5, or I don't know, like 3 out of the last 6 or so, he's led at least 1 or 2 runs. Not as many strikeouts as he was having in the beginning of the game. Murphy's come up, performed pretty well. Pavetta's been pretty decent in this short amount of appearances that he's had. He hasn't had a lot of earned run in a pretty decent amount of time. I mean, other than that, yeah, it's been kind of wishy-washy. You don't really know what you're going to get. Like I said earlier, you're going to have a good start, and then it seems like the bullpen falls apart, and then or you get a starter that comes in, gives up 4 runs in 4 innings, and then the bullpen kind of, picks it up, but that's when our offense kind of scuffles. So it's kind of a mixed bag. You don't really know what you're going to get each day, but,
Yeah, definitely. So we want to sit there and talk about series MVP, but before that, Nick, do you want to sit there and enlighten us? I know we only play you guys, every so often.
Okay.
Every year. I think we're going to be playing you guys every year now, pretty much.
Yeah, I think next year will be in Miami. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, enlighten everybody, some people that's on your farm system that, to keep an eye on. Some people like to play fantasy baseball. Some people just love to keep an eye out for great talent.
So, Perez is obviously number 1. He actually graduated tomorrow. He'll be enough days to graduate and end his rookie status, so he'll no longer be a prospect tomorrow. After that, there's very little offensive talent in the system. Jacob Amaya was just called up, who was traded from the Dodgers to the Marlins for Miguel Rojas, who I think was a guy that a lot of Red Sox fans thought maybe just grabbed to play shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Amaya, I think, is like the 10th highest, 10th rated Marlins prospect due to MLB.com. I'm not huge into prospects, but the MLB.com, he's number 10. And he may get an inning or 2 at shortstop this series. You never know. He dominated in AAA. He batted like 280 with like 12, 13 home runs. So I wouldn't say dominated, but he put up good stats, and he's in the majors now. Just got caught up a couple of days ago. Jacob Berry was their first-round pick last year. Ranked high, he's been awful. I think he was a big D1 third baseman. They drafted in the first round, high up in the first round. He's just been very bad. I think he's still in like single A, not doing much. Brian Hoeing is a starter who just he makes spot starts every once in a while. He's in the top 10 at least. He's pretty good. I think he's good. I think he's good enough to be a 4 or 5 guy in the major league somewhere, but he just doesn't fit on the rotation right now. So besides, they don't have tons, but they have they don't have any high-end guys like the Red Sox do, like Mayer or Blythe, but they have a lot of mid-tier starters and mid-tier okay hitters, I would say.
Okay. So let's talk series MVP now. DC, who are you picking to be the Red Sox series MVP?
I'm gonna go with Yoshida. I think he has a good series. I actually thought he was kind of scuffling because he's been kind of quiet, but he's quietly hitting over 300 right now. But I think he comes out and has a pretty decent series. Maybe a home run. Even seen one of those in a little bit from him. But I think he can do some damage, which is kind of tough with 2 lefties. But I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Okay, Nick, who is going to be your series MVP from the Marlins?
If the Marlins win the series, besides Luis Arraez, the MVP would be Garrett Cooper.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
If the Red Sox win the series, I'll give it to Justin Turner. Just as a righty against 2 lefty starters.
I'm going to go a little bit outside the box. I'm going to sit there and say Tristan Casas will be the MVP. I think Casas is in the month of June has been putting it together.
I'll say something. Sorry. Tristan Casas and Jesus Luzardo have grown up facing each other also. So it's not like they haven't seen each other before.
Yeah.
Cool little tidbit there. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying Casas, he's putting together a great month, and what a way to end the month. You know, putting it all together. I'm gonna say 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. So that's who I'm picking for the MVP. Nick, what's the series gonna be? Out of 3 games, what are you thinking?
Without knowing who the Red Sox starter is for Game 2, I'm going to say the Red Sox take Game 1, the Marlins take the next 2.
Okay, you're saying
that
Marlins
could change.
2 out of 3.
I think the Sox put up a big game against Sandy. He keeps scuffling, and we'll see what happens after that.
DC, what are you thinking?
I think Sox take 2 out of 3. I think the Saturday game worries me a little bit, but yeah, Sox 2 out of 3.
Who do we end this season with? Toronto. Boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna sit there and go Marlins 2 out of 3.
Ooh.
Hey,
Ooh.
we got to keep 500 ball for some reason. I don't know why, but we have to keep 500 ball, and I think we could take Game 1 in Toronto, playing Toronto. So for us to take Game 1, that means we got to lose 2 against the Marlins. So I'm saying we lose 2 out of 3 to keep our 500 ball going.
At first, I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, Toronto, man? We're talking about Miami."
Hey.
And I figured out what you're talking about.
So, Nick, want to thank you for stopping by. Love talking Marlins baseball with you. Love talking Red Sox baseball with you.
Yes, yeah.
Just because you cover the Marlins doesn't mean that you don't know your Sox.
I still like both, of course. Do you guys want the Sox to add or sell at the deadline?
I want them to buy.
Tough question.
I'll take them to sell. There's a couple pieces that we could sell to probably get some things, and then make a nice push in the offseason next this year coming up.
Yeah,
I think that in a month though.
Yeah, right now I want them to just unload it all and everybody go. Keep everybody. Keep everyone except Verdugo. Wong, Yoshida, everyone, and maybe Duran. I don't know. Everyone else could buy. They should have done it last offseason, but they got to do it once. They should have done it when they had Bogarts. They had Evaldi. They could have gotten a lot more for those guys.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm for get rid of sell Kike, sell Duvall, sell Paxton.
Yeah, Paxton's one guy if he's not seriously hurt. I'm on board with just DFA and Kike at this point.
Yeah. But, get some snacks for the concession stand for Corey Kluber.
I feel bad. He's just taking someone's spot who deserves it.
Yeah. But I'm even for getting rid of Turner. Trade Turner
right now.
While he's hot.
I'm cool with trading Turner.
Oh, I just thought you meant like DFA. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, no.
No.
Trade him. Trade him.
Yeah, I'm cool with trading Turner.
I would possibly. I know DC's not going to like this. I would even sit there and say if Martin's doing good, I'm even willing to trade him.
I mean, he's a bet, I wouldn't mind. I mean, yeah, if we're in like a month from now, and we're like 5 to 6 games out of the last wild card, by all means, you know what I mean.
Well, if add in mid-July or the Sox are 5-6 games under, you got to sell.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lose. I mean, if they sell everybody, they could win 70 games.
And hopefully, after the debacle we had last trade deadline with them not realize what the hell they want to do, they'll kind of be more focused.
I just don't want them to be 500 at the deadline and still have no realistic shot and then buy.
I'd like to see them at least like 5 to 8 games above 500 to sell. I mean, not sell, buy.
I don't see
but I don't see them there.
I don't think it'll happen all year.
No.
So, but Nick, you want to sit there and let everybody know where they can reach out to you to talk Marlins, to talk Red Sox? The floor is yours.
Oh, yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter at Diamond N Media anytime you want. And that's about it, guys. I enjoyed coming on.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate it.
I sit there and love with spring training because, you know, that's where you and I was doing a lot of our talking.
Yeah,
and I'm
spring
like,
training was so fun.
I'm like, what's going on down there? You know, you were like the inside man for us.
I was walking down the stairs of the stadium yesterday, and I'm like, I kind of miss spring training. Like, I know we're in the middle of the season. It's like game 75, but I'm like, spring training was fun. Like,
Hey,
could go anywhere I wanted. It was so cool.
I sit there and miss spring training just because I had expectations. I had high hopes.
Yeah, and they were winning. They had that big winning. Weren't they like 9-0 to start the year or start the spring training? It was crazy.
Yeah, and then we ended up close to 500.
Yeah, whatever.
So
kind of how the team's going to be all year.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks a lot for coming on. You know, we appreciate you giving us some of your time.
You're welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nick.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Man, DC, that was Nick. He's our go-to guy for the Marlins. Plus, he was the one that was getting all the sweet information for us on spring training.
Yeah, it was cool to get to converse with him. Obviously, I had to miss that the draft that you had that he was on for that. So cool to kind of put a face with the name. Man, he's really knowledgeable, man. Knows his shit.
Yeah, we definitely got to do another one of those all-time fantasy Red Sox drafts too.
I'd be down.
So, but DC, you and I, we got to sit down with another. Wait, man, we just been sitting down with a lot of farm system prospects this year. You know, these past couple weeks. So
yeah, it's really exciting stuff, man. It's cool to talk to the future. You know, kind of grow with them is our goal. You know, create those relationships, and it's just cool to kind of be able to watch them progress through the minors.
Yeah. So guys, DC and I got to sit down with Tyler Dearden. So here it is. Well, DC, we are here with yet another interview from the farm system of the Boston Red Sox. This guy here he's playing for Double-A right now, Portland. He is on the hottest team in our farm system right now, with all eyes on that team. And he's one of the reasons why people are watching the game. He is the outfielder, Mr. Tyler Dearden.
Thank you guys for having me.
What's going on, Tyler? How you doing?
Up,
doing good.
So, man, you're on the Portland Sea Dogs. Right now, you guys are the hottest team in the organization. You guys, from top to bottom right now, are stacked with talent, including yourself. So, let's start going back to the beginning. I always like to ask, what got you into baseball, and what other sports did you play at a younger age? Were you the all-around athlete?
Yeah, so growing up, I played, a little bit of soccer. That didn't go too long, but played basketball up until high school, and then baseball always. My dad kind of got me into baseball at a young age. He coached at the College of New Jersey, Division III, and for a while when I was growing up. So I was always around the field, always around the batting cages. He was a hitting coach there, so he would always take me, and I would just hang out with the older guys and, kind of just learn from them. And that's kind of where I started to learn baseball and kind of fell in love with the game then.
Who was some of your the stars, the players at the time that you enjoyed watching?
So back then, are you talking like MLB guys?
Yeah, MLB guys.
Yeah, so for me, growing up in New Jersey, I was a big Jeter guy growing up. Loved watching Derek Jeter. I know that might be not the best thing to say on here, but I was a big Jeter guy growing up.
Nah, man,
sure.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
you can't disregard the team he played for, but because he had talent. He was well respected, and now he's down there in Miami doing his thing.
Right.
But just because he plays for I don't even want to say the other team, but you can't disregard of his stature and his place in history.
100%. No, he's one of the best to do it for sure.
So
you grew up a Yankees fan then?
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna come out and just say that, but yes, I did grow up a Yankees. Did grow up a Yankees fan.
What was that like? Coming up through the Red Sox? Was that kind of weird? As a kid, as a Yankees fan.
Yeah, you grow up as a Yankees fan and then drafted by Boston. It kind of changes, as you get older. At least for me, and being around the game more, I kind of I'm not so much into watching baseball as much because we are playing almost at the same time as those guys. So it's like not really as much of a fan anymore. So it's been normal. I wouldn't even say I really root for a team right now. Kind of just a baseball fan.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because, since we started our podcast and at the end of February, and MLB.TV gave us, the MILB package included. I'm trying to watch as much, triple A, double A as possible. But a lot of times all the games are playing at the same time. It's like, you got to pick and choose, or you got to be like Jared Carrabis and have 23 TVs in your living room.
Yeah, we're not on that level yet.
No, I got a tablet, a phone, and a computer, and I'm good.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
so, working your way up in your organization, what was it like to be drafted by the organization?
Yeah, so it was. It was one of those experiences that you as a kid, everyone wants to play professional baseball, and when I got that call, I was actually playing in the Carpenter Cup over in Pennsylvania, high school Carpenter Cup, and to get that call, it was I don't even know how to describe it. It was a life-changing call, something that I worked for my whole life, and just to get that call, obviously at that time wasn't sure if I was going to sign or not, but just to be selected by a major league organization, that they believe in you and they want you to be a part of their organization. It just meant a lot.
If you didn't get drafted, what were your options, and what were you looking at to do?
Yeah, no. So I was committed to Penn State. That was still an option. Was actually thinking about potentially decommitting and going the JUCO route to Chipola. So there were a couple different options throughout. Kind of weighed the options, and for me, it was just you never know if you're going to get that opportunity again. I know you play the odds, and I would like to think most likely would have gotten drafted again, but you never know. Injuries happen, all these crazy things happen. So for me, it was I didn't want to put that in jeopardy, and I wanted to give it a shot.
What was it like? Spring training, your first spring training experience, getting to know your team, because going from low A to high A, to now double A, like each experience is different. You got to, you have some of the same guys on your team that get called up and put down. So what was the experience overall like?
Yeah, first spring training, it's kind of eye-opening and kind of grounding for sure. You're kind of riding high off getting drafted. You think you're the man, and you show up to spring training and there's 150 guys, that are all very talented, and you have the big league guys that are there too. So it kind of humbles you a little bit, but it's a lot of fun. Spring training is definitely a cool experience because you're with all the guys from all the levels, mixing and matching on fields, and you're around the big league guys, and you get opportunities to play in big league spring training games and stuff like that. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah, and with the Red Sox organization, they always have their veterans, their alumni at spring training at some point. You got Tech that's on the team as doing his role, but then you got Pedro stops by and talks to the pitchers. You've got Ortiz coming to make an appearance and talking. Pedroia, I love when I see him. Seeing what he helped with Jarren Duran in the offseason really turned things around. Did you have any interactions with any of the alumni, and what was it like?
So not in spring training, but in 2019, Dustin Pedroia rehabbed with us in Greenville and that was when Greenville was low A in 2019. That was when he was coming back from. That was kind of the beginning of the end for him. He was trying to come back from that knee injury. It just wasn't right. But he was a great guy to have in the clubhouse. And at the time, I guess I was 20 years old, and just to. It was weird sharing a locker room with Dustin Pedroia. I'm like looking around and, being in the same lineup as him and just watching him go about his business. And you could tell he wasn't right, but he was still doing everything he could to try and come back. And, he's one of, like, you talk about Jeter, you talk about Pedroia on the other side of second base. I mean, they're two of the best to do it.
Yeah, with Pedroia, I always if his uniform wasn't dirty, I never thought he was playing baseball. You know what I mean? Right. He was always grinding, always diving, doing whatever he could on the field and, at bat.
For sure.
So you're on Portland now.
Yep.
All eyes are on you guys right now for a plethora of reasons. Marcelo Myers there, Nick York. They're saying that they're our future infield right there working together. What is it like now with all the extra reporters, all the extra pressure for you guys there in Portland?
Yeah, kind of all eyes are on us. I think we're a half game back out of first with 8 to play. I think next week is the end of the first half. So, we're trying to win ball games right now. Obviously, the minor leagues is about development, but as you get closer to the end, you want to win games. And I think when our manager Chad Epperson talks about, winning is part of development because you want to win in the big leagues. So right now, we're playing to win these games and to win the first half. But like you said, I mean, we have some guys here right now. Our lineup is really good with the young guys. He's only been here for a couple weeks, but unbelievable just to watch him. He's so talented for being 20 years old. And Nick York, who I'm actually good friends with, we played together in high A in 21 towards the end of the year, became friendly. Another unbelievable player. And, we have Rafaela, who's also, I played with him for a little while now, just watching him. Like some of the things he does, it's just, like sharing the outfield with him is like, I love when he's in center because I'm like, all right, I just got to cover the line to my right and he'll catch anything to my left. So, we just have
like seeing Cedeno out there, it kind of like gives me flashbacks of when Jackie Bradley was out there. Now, I'm not saying like they're on the same level, but the amount of field that he can cover, like you said, you got the line, he's got everything else. Like that's a good feeling.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always joke with him when I'm out there in left. I go, "You got left and center today," and he just flashes. I got you. Just let me know. So, but he's awesome.
Got unbelievable range.
He's awesome. He plays the game the right way, and he's a legit 5-tool player. He's a 5-tool player, and it's just fun to watch him when he's going, and it's fun to watch a lot of the guys on our team, man, like Marcelo and Yorkie. Chase Mydra, it's been really impressive since he's been up here. Guy just gets in the box and puts together good at bats and hits, man. It's been fun, and for me, being like an older guy and these younger guys in AA with Yorkie and Meyer coming up, just trying to be a leader and try and share my experiences that I've gone through in the minor leagues and do whatever I can to help those guys because like you said, those guys are the future, and I want to do whatever I can to help.
Well, you say like they're the future. Come on, Tyler, you're part of the future too. you've got the speed. I seen you have a triple, and
Yeah.
it looks so easy for you, like because you dug it out and you just you went. There's no when you hit the ball, you're not slouching coming out coming out of the box. So you got the speed. You've got a great arm in the outfield. You got to sit there and give yourself that credit too, and not just give it to everybody else.
No, for sure. Obviously, I believe in myself, and I believe I'm a good player. But I love to give the other guys credit. Where credit's due. And these guys are some really good players, man. So I love hyping them up.
So okay, Tyler, we're gonna pause from baseball a little bit.
Sounds good.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, so for me, I picked up golf about 2 years ago. I've been learning to golf a little bit. Breaking 100 consistently now, so we're getting there. Hopefully,
There you go, man.
Hopefully 90s next. We're not there yet. I just kind of got the lefty slice, the baseball swing. So we're working on it. If I can get off the tee box, I'll be all right. And yeah, just play some video games here and there, some Fortnite, some Call of Duty.
He said Call of Duty though, so don't give me that look about Fortnite. All right.
Okay.
Are you guys? What are you guys? Fortnite and Call of Duty?
I'm a big Call of Duty guy.
Yeah,
I'm not good by any means.
I'm a big Fortnite guy. I love playing it. We just got done talking to Maceo, and he's a big Fortnite guy, and him and I are going to hook up and play some Fortnite together. Tyler, you'll be more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't been on Fortnite in a little while. During the off season, I play a bunch with Chaz McCormick with the Astros. One of my buddies who he's a big Fortnite guy, loves Fortnite. So after we work out in the mornings, we hop on Fortnite. I haven't played as much during the season though, but I'll get back into it. Are you you play builds or no builds?
I hate build. I can't build. I'm not that good.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you. I'm all for the no builds.
Yeah, bro. If I do play, I play no build because my building skills are trash.
Yeah, my son's 13 and he plays Fortnite and he always is busting on me, and I just go down to one thing. I'm like, how many solo wins you have? He's like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I'm like, I got more solo wins. That's all that matters to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to think when Fortnite first came out. I think it was like when it first really got going was 20.
Like 17,
end of 17. Yeah, it was that first off season after I got drafted. And I remember just like after working out, like I couldn't wait to get home and play Fortnite with the boys. And we were so bad, and we would just hide in bushes till the end and try and win. And getting that win, you'd post it on social media, like that was a thing. And that was a good time. Yeah, that was one heck of a time.
Yeah, DC, he's more the Call of Duty guy. I've tried that. I'm not very good at Call of Duty at all. So
I'm not good. I've
been a big Call of Duty guy. But I still play the new one a little bit. Some of the guys we actually play Search and Destroy together some nights. But yeah, I grew up playing. MW2 was probably my favorite. That or Black Ops. It's for me.
Yeah, I can agree with those.
MW3. I liked MW3 a lot. That was like my game. But yeah.
Okay, going back to baseball now. What exactly? Who are your close relationships with? And who was the biggest influence so far to kind of take you under your wing and like give you advice?
Yeah, on this team, we got a lot of younger guys. I would say a lot of guys that were in high last year. This year I was really close with Steven Scott, who just got called up to Worcester not too long ago. He's a really good dude. We actually lived together, so spent a lot of time with him. Good baseball background, played at Vandy. Pretty sure he won the College World Series at Vandy. Just knows a lot about the game and just picking his brain. Let me think. Scotty, Yorkie. I talk with Yorkie all the time. We like to talk hitting together, just trying to pick each other's brains, two different hitters, him hitting from the right side, me hitting from the left side, just trying to share our, what's working for him, what's not working for him, how we're going to attack the pitchers, what's he throwing us, and how we're going to make adjustments. So love talking hitting with Yorkie for sure. And then I would say, probably got the most advice from was probably guys out of this organization, some friends that I work out with back home. Brian O'Keefe with the Seattle Mariners. He debuted last year for a little bit. He's over in AAA in Tacoma. He's one of my really good friends. I was at his wedding this offseason, and guy that's been around for a long time in the game, been in the minor leagues for 8 or 9 years. So, a guy that just gets it, and, whenever things aren't going great or, something doesn't feel right, struggling a little bit at the plate, that's a guy I reach out to and call, and, he gets it and, gets me back on track. So I appreciate him.
Game day ritual. What is something you do before every game?
Yeah.
Oh, you beat me to it, man. You beat me to it.
Oh.
So for me, kind of game day ritual kind of starts early. So kind of the night before for me is I like to look at the pitcher we're facing, kind of go on our database and kind of look him up, see what he's throwing, try and watch videos against lefties, see where guys are doing damage on him, where guys getting hits, what pitches, all that stuff. So that kind of starts early the night before, just to kind of, sleep on that a little bit and, prepare for the next day. But game day ritual, I'd say for me, it starts with a coffee. I'm a big coffee guy. So, where we're on the road or wherever we're at, got to grab a coffee. And, if I played well the day before, got a few knocks, I'm getting the same exact order. And if not, I'm switching it up to something else.
Yep.
We're trying, I'll go from Dunkin' to Starbucks to wherever, local coffee shop, switching it up, try and find which coffee has the hits in it.
What was your most successful coffee so far?
Dude, Starbucks has been good to me so far. Starbucks has been good, but I always keep it there. But sometimes you can't abuse it. So sometimes I switch it up, go back.
Starbucks intimidates me, man. Whenever I'd be driving in the drive-through with my wife. I'd make her lean over and say wherever she needed it because it's like 10 words for one drink, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah. My girlfriend's the same way. She's ordering some drink that I have no idea how to pronounce. I'm like, you got it. I'm not ordering that.
Yeah, you gotta talk loud.
Yeah.
I would say I'm the same way with my daughter. She'll sit there and she'll text, "Hey, can you stop at Starbucks?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll stop for you." And then I have to go in, and then just show my phone to them.
Yep.
And they're like, "You have a teenage daughter?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yep. She goes, "Okay, we understand."
There it is.
Because it's like you guys both know, it's like, okay, I want 3 shots of this, a double of this. I'm like, what? Like whatever happened
like
to
ice, white, mocha, caramel.
Oh, like I don't drink coffee, but whatever happened to coffee, cream and sugar?
Yeah.
Or coffee black.
Yo, they're good though, man. The drinks are good. I can't lie.
They are good, but yeah, I'm good with a simple coffee, but when I'm there, there's so many options and they're good. I'll try them out.
So, what was your biggest experience, your proudest moment so far in the Red Sox organization besides getting that phone call?
There's been a few. I'd say definitely my 21 season in high A, breaking the Greenville Drive home run record was really cool, and it meant a lot to me. And then Nick Northcutt, who was traded last year, came in and broke it the next year. As I'm boys with, so I texted him. I said, "Congrats, man," which was awesome for him. But that was definitely one for sure. A great accomplishment for me, and just testament to a lot of hard work. But then this year, probably one of the coolest things, man, was this year in spring training was I actually got to start a big league spring training game against the Yankees in Tampa at the Yankees field. And it was kind of like a lot of the guys weren't traveling, so I ended up starting that game and left, and I was nervous. I got the text the night before. I was like, oh, against I grew up a Yankees fan, so to go there and play and start, and their guys were playing. Judge was in left for them, and like I see the lineup, Judge is in left for them, I'm in left for us, and it was a really cool experience for me growing up a Yankees fan. Hitting BP on the field, seeing all those guys up close, and then I ended up. I think I went 2 for 3 with a homer that day, and it was just an unbelievable experience, to do that against, the team I grew up, rooting for. And that was my first time at their spring training facility. So it was just an awesome experience. And then I guess last thing would probably be last year with Portland making the playoffs in the second half. Didn't have a great first half, but then really turning on the second half and, making the playoffs was a really awesome experience.
DC, you have anything else?
So being from Jersey, this is kind of not baseball related, but you an NFL guy. This could go different ways. So.
Oh yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Yeah, I'm a Jets fan. I'm sure you guys are Patriots fans. So.
No, actually, so we're from PA. We're actually from Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah. So when I saw Penn State, you were committed. I was like, that's like an hour and a half from where we're from. But
okay.
I'm a Birds fan, so I can respect the Jets. I like that.
Okay, yeah.
I was just hoping it wasn't the Giants.
No, Jets fan. Yeah, I'm excited for this season with Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, we can actually put together a decent season here. There's some hype around the team this year. I'm excited, but actually, the past 2 off seasons I've spent in Philly. Last off season, I actually lived about a mile and a half from the stadiums, so I go to more Eagles and Philly events than I do Jets for sure. I'm that over at Xfinity Live. If you ever have seen that place, for
crazy.
just about every Eagles game. All my buddies are Eagles fans, so I'm there just about every Sunday with my buddies, and it's all.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, Eagles fans are one of a kind, man. It's an awesome atmosphere.
Sometimes I'm afraid to tell people I'm an Eagles fan, especially, having a Red Sox podcast. But, yeah, dude, the fans can be a little brutal. I try not to be like that, but I can see why they have the reputation they do.
Yeah, no, I love tailgating Eagles games. I love going to them, all my friends are, like I said, are Eagles fans, and they're all crazy, but it's a good time,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the other half of the New York. I'm a Giants fan.
Okay.
So, DC and I have a small disagreement, couple months out of the season. But the New England fans, the Patriots fans, they definitely despise us because, well, they just couldn't beat Eli.
Yeah.
Hey, same with the Eagles, man. Nick Foles, baby, let's go.
Nick Foles took down Tom Brady too.
That was wild. That was a crazy game.
I remember that one.
My biggest question I would always love to ask Tom Brady is, how can you handle the better Manning brother but lose to the lesser Manning brother? Like that's like he owned Peyton for the longest time, and then he just, unless Peyton was always like in his ear, okay, they're gonna do this, so you got to do this. Yeah. But both Super Bowls, I almost lost my TV twice. The Plaxico, saved the one, and then
the Tyreek catch.
The Tyreek. Hey, I always wanted to shout out to those Patriots. If they didn't deflate those footballs, I probably shouldn't say this on here, but David Tyree never would have caught that football.
Yeah, we're gonna lose like 1,000 followers on Twitter. We only have like 1,200, bro.
Yeah, but no. Going back to what you're saying about Manning, he couldn't beat Manning. I mean, that's just sports. I feel that way with baseball. Is like some pitchers, you just have, and you'll see in the big leagues, like Devers just has Cole's number. Cole's one of the best. Like some guys, and you'll see even the minor leagues, like some guys, you just have their number, and you're gonna get them. And then there's other pitchers who may not even be that great, and they have your number, it's just sports, man. It's the nature of sports.
Well, speaking of this, it's time to ask my favorite question. We just started asking it recently. Hot tub time machine. You can go back in the time to face any pitcher one-on-one, bottom of the ninth, any pitcher you want, who would it be and why?
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit of a loaded question for you.
That is a good one because it's like there's guys I would want to face, but there's also guys that like I would want to face, but I don't think I'd be successful off of. So it's like blindly, like as soon as you ask that, I'm like Randy Johnson. But then I'm thinking, I'm like left on left. I don't love my chances against Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, man. Randy Johnson would definitely be up there. I'm gonna go Roger Clemens, man. Give me Roger Clemens on the bump. I mean, growing up, watching him, he was the man, and you know what they say, like if you wanna be the best, you got to beat the best. So give me Roger Clemens on the mound, right on left. I'll take my chances.
I love that. It's so far it's been a lot more variety on the hitters that we've asked.
Yeah.
The pitchers, both times Barry Bonds. They sit there and said Barry Bonds with it, hands down.
Yeah, you want to face the best.
Yeah. So Tyler, want to thank you for giving us some of your time and coming on. The floor is yours. Where can everybody find you and reach out to you?
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm on social media at Tyler Dearden, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, for the older people. It's like my parents, I tell my parents, yeah, I'm on Facebook, Mom, if you want to check out what I'm doing, but I don't use that as much. But yeah, Instagram and Twitter, Tyler Dearden.
Okay. Well, Tyler, we would love to have you back on at a point as your career progresses, and we would love to sit there and be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Reach out to me whenever, man. I'm always open to hop on. I enjoyed talking with you guys.
Yeah, really appreciate you going on, man.
Yes. Thank you, and good luck tonight then.
Thank you. Appreciate it.